I will say it.
Oh, okay, good.
Are we good? Hi, guys. Welcome to the Savings Blackboard. This is Erica Garcia with OC Credit and Business Builders. And today I am more than excited. I am happy to have Catherine Medina here with me. She is not only gorgeous and beautiful, but she is also my gorgeous and beautiful. She's my beautiful daughter. I want to remind you that if you have any comments, questions, go ahead and ask away. We have Diego in the background, the voice of God, AKA the voice of God.
There you go.
And I have to remind you that he is still single, and we are looking for single ladies that, we are accepting applications.
Although they will go through a crucial and very difficult interview process.
Very crucial and what?
Difficult.
And difficult process.
I'll remind you of that when you start dating, Kat.
Let's not talk about that in this show. So the purpose of the show is for, if you're a business owner, to expose your business and also to give savings tips to the community. Catherine is not a business owner yet, but she has been around me and she has a lot of amazing tips, and hopefully one day she'll take over our business, so she'll have her own business though. Let's get started. So the number one question that I ask every single person is, who is Catherine?
To sum it up, she is a believer of God and just a person who definitely tries to be like her mom and like her dad.
Aww. And I didn't ask her to say that.
Yeah, you did.
I actually didn't know she was going to say that. Okay, well, that's beautiful. Let's talk about your hobbies. What do you like to do for fun?
Play volleyball for one, and I love music. I play the violin and the ukulele, and I'm trying to pick up the piano if you'll take me to lessons.
That's not saving. So we're not going to talk about that right now, Catherine. This is savings, not adding on more.
Adding on to the bill.
Adding on to the bill. Okay, and how old are you?
15. I had to think about that for a second.
15%.
15 years old.
15 and a half.
Oh, yeah, you're
and
right.
what does a 15 and a half young woman gets to do at 15 and a half?
Ooh, she gets to get her permit, which I am working on.
Yay. And why are you working on your permit?
So I can drive?
Because you have a...
Oh, I got a car!
We just have to throw that out there. That's not savings either.
No, that's definitely not
okay,
savings.
I think today we're just not going to talk about
Probably not.
We're on the wrong show. Okay, so what high school do you go to?
I go to Foothill High School in Santa Ana, sort of North Tustin kind of area.
How do you like it?
It's good. I like it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you want to do when you grow up?
Possibly go into the medical field. I'm not sure if for people or for animals yet, but definitely somewhere in the medical field.
Okay. What makes you, when was it that you realized, okay, I want to be in the medical field?
Around the 15th season of Grey's Anatomy.
She's not joking.
I'm really not. I'm really not. No, but just, I know it's kind of scary how when people go to the hospital and family members go to the hospital, but when I'm there, it's more of a sense of peace for me. I really just enjoy being there, as strange as it is.
That is a little cuckoo, because I mean, just a little blood or a little cut or a little anything, it just grosses me out. It's just like, oh, let me do it. When was it that you had to, what was it, that pig? There's a word for it.
Dissect?
Dissect, yes. There was a pig she had to dissect, and she came home because nobody wanted to touch the pig. And she was like, I'll take over. You tell them the story.
I was so excited. But you told the whole thing. So last year for biology, we had to dissect a fetal pig, which was, it was already dead before it was born, so no animals were like injured or anything or killed.
Other than,
Because she is an animal lover.
Because I love animals. But
I mean, they were killed. They showed up dead.
Well, they weren't killed. They were already dead before they were born. But most of my table mates did not want to actually cut open the pig and do the cutting part because they got very, like, squeamish, like how my mom gets. But
it's gross. It's disgusting.
I love
even
it.
with CJ right now. Yesterday, they were just opening up. My son had a interesting moment. Let's just call it that way. And they were opening up his eyes so they could see the inside of his eye, and it was grossing. I had to look away. And Catherine's like, "Oh, let me see. I want to take a picture.
They didn't even cut it. They literally opened his eye to see his eyeball, as if like you're gonna open it to like put a drop in or something.
But
it
was
eye drop.
disgusting.
It was the funniest thing, seeing her all squeamish like that.
So that's how we know that she is ready to be a doctor.
Yeah, I don't get grossed out
I know.
inside of blood.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. No, it's not.
It's not. No.
It's really not. It's natural.
So let's talk about one thing you'd want to do other than, you want to be a doctor when you grow up. So like something that you want to put in your bucket list.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like something you want to do. Like, I don't know, go to Europe, go to Spain, have a yacht. Something that requires you to have money. That you cannot get right now.
That I cannot get right now. Well, something that I've been working on that requires to have money is I've been trying to get this pet bird that's very, very, very expensive. Like, very, very expensive.
It's not within the savings.
No,
it's
not
within
at
the budget.
all. So that's something that I'm working towards kind of in the near-ish future, within the next year and a half, hopefully.
Okay. And she's looking at me because it has to be within the budget.
Yeah. It has to be within her budget. Just like it has to be perfect for her to say yes to get it.
Okay. And the reason why I'm asking her that, because it is important for her, being so young, to know that for us to be able to have what we want, and not only for what we need, but for what we want, is for her to know how to budget and how to save money. So let's say that I'm not going to be able to help you with the bird. That you have absolutely you're not going to get any help from me, and that you would have to come up with the entire money. How would you do it? Let's say you do have a job, but you have bills.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think it's a way for you to accomplish that pet or dream that you have?
Well, you've always told me to live on just 70%. So when you make money, the first 10% obviously goes to God. The second 10% goes into savings. And then that third 10% is what you like actually live, or not live off of, but that you enjoy and have fun with. But let's say I wanted to get that bird and I was going to pay the whole enchilada of it. Then I'd use what I'd need for that savings.
She is my child.
I would save.
She did not get this from you, Caesar, but she probably got that from Michael.
That one, yeah, definitely from Michael. I would use the savings. Obviously, I would leave some, like, half of whatever savings I have for, like, emergencies or rainy days in case anything were to, like, go wrong. But then I'd use the other 50% of the savings to put into a separate savings specifically for that bird, and maybe take away a little more of that, like, have fun 10% and use it for that.
That's pretty good. It's a good plan. What is savings for the ones that don't know what is savings?
No, it's where you take money from what you're making and put it aside and don't use it, don't touch it, don't even look at it, don't even think about it, because you will use it if you know it's there.
And the reason why I'm asking you that is because a lot of us have the intention of saving, but since we don't really understand the meaning of savings, like exactly what you said, it's you put it away because it's savings. It's for rainy seasons. It's there to be saved, if you want to buy your bird, whatever it is. And a lot of people do have the intention, but I think they just don't really understand that it's not touched. Everything has to have, it's within the budget. Everything has its own, what would you call it?
Priority?
Not priority, but, when you have your money, everything has its own. Diego, help me out here. Do you speak Erica?
I'm on Benadryl right now.
He's on Benadryl. Once I think of the word, I'll come back. Okay, so what about budget? What does budget mean to you?
Budget, so I can't think of the definition, but I can give you like a scenario of budget. Like if you, so budgeting.
Okay.
I can't think.
Okay, it's okay.
I'll come back to that. My brain's, I can think of the word,
got that from me.
She's also on Benadryl.
She's on Benadryl. No, she's not on Benadryl. She hasn't had enough caffeine.
I haven't had enough caffeine.
Okay, so let's talk about right now. You're 15 years old. What can a 15-year-old do for money?
Well, there's not much you can do, seeing as how you have to be 16 to actually do stuff, and in most cases 18. They raise the work thing, which kind of sucks. But one thing that we've been doing is we go do recyclings, and most people think that it's not as lucrative as we describe it to be, but it really is. If you grab the bottles and put them in the little machines one by one, we've made up to like $160 in one day. And we were only there for like 2-3 hours.
Yep. So now a lot of people don't want to recycle because it's a hassle to have those bags, and then you think, oh, why grab it? And then I've heard this, I take it to a recycling center and I only got like $10 for all that stuff. But the only reason they're doing that is because they're not spending the time.
Yeah, and they do it by weight there, so you're really not getting anything back.
So if you are a teenager and you're looking to make money, recycling. And you have to put the time for it.
And be ready to get your hands dirty.
And be ready to get your hands dirty. So what are some tips not to get your hands dirty, because you've learned this?
Definitely don't wear flip-flops, or if you are going to wear flip-flops, make sure they're like the really gross ones, or wear pants so you're not afraid to get dirty, and clothes that you're not afraid to throw out if you need to. Wear gloves, because there are many broken glass bottles and stuff that can be dangerous at times. But for the ones that aren't, you'll make some money off of.
Yeah, that's good. So once you have that money, well, what do you do with it?
To be honest, we typically give ourselves a little treat for doing all that work. Like, she'll take us to Yogurtland, or she'll do something like that. It's not too pricey or not too out of the way, but something to treat ourselves, which you don't always have to. But we'll either spend it on the bills we need to pay, or we'll put like half of it aside, or like 10% aside for whatever else we need to.
Okay. So what about once you do have your money and that it's yours, we've done treats, we've paid whatever we got to pay for, what's a way that you don't go and spend all the money? What's your secret?
Well, for me, let's say you're going out somewhere and you have all this money, or you have some money saved aside. Like, let's say, I don't know, $200 that you got from doing something, and you don't want to spend all of it. You go with the price you already want to spend. Like, let's say you want to spend only, I don't know, $20 or $40 or $50. Then you only take that amount of money, and let's say an extra $10 just in case there's like taxes or something like that. But really, only what you're gonna spend, take. The rest, kind of put it in a drawer where you don't really think about it.
Because otherwise you'll spend it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I know my kids are really good with that. When it comes to even their birthdays, they always ask for money. And I'm really proud of them, because I have a hard time not spending my birthday money. And it's your birthday money. You get to treat yourself to whatever you want, because that's the purpose. People gave you that birthday money to go and spend it on whatever you want. And they are so good and disciplined that 99% of the time, that birthday money will literally last the whole year until the next birthday money comes.
Mm-hmm. I think last year I started with like $400, and then by the second year I had about maybe $150, $200 left. Yeah. So almost half of it.
And the reason why you did that is because you don't take everything with you.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes. If you have it, it's that easy to just take it out and give it to someone for something and spend it. So I don't carry it with me, or I try not to.
You were telling me something about you keeping money somewhere hidden. Do you want to talk about that?
Oh, okay. So most of the time, like, my wallet is in a drawer of mine where I typically
not say what drawer.
We're not going to say what drawer.
Especially with CJ. I think he might be watching.
He's probably
CJ,
watching.
if you're watching right now, cover your eyes and cover your ears. She is about to say something that you don't want to hear.
Oh, he stopped watching. He's in her room now.
Probably. So it's in one of my drawers that I don't open too often, but that's where I keep like my important stuff, and I just don't really think about it unless I say like I need money, so that I know like it comes back to my mind on where it is. Mm-hmm. But if you have it there and it's not there, you're constantly looking at it, then you don't really have the urge to spend it because you forget it's there.
And then you told me something else that you normally have like hidden with you.
An extra emergency $10.
Yeah,
I always keep that in my phone.
So she always tell me about that, about you having your emergency. Why is it good to have emergency money?
In case I've always said this because she likes to take it, like, when we're doing something. She's like, Kat, I don't have enough. Give me, like,
Can I have
10 bucks. Can I have
So
10
I
bucks?
don't carry cash. I don't carry cash. I mean, hardly ever. And she saves me all the time because of her emergency money.
Which I always later have to refill and have to remind her, Mom, I need it back in cash.
Because it needs to go back. And that's important because we all need to have that emergency money. Us as adults, our emergency money should not be, hidden somewhere. I mean, maybe it should, but then I'll get it and I'll spend it. But it should be in our savings. We should always have an emergency fund. For what? For emergencies.
But that's why you keep it there, like, even adults can do it, I guess. Like, you can have, like, an emergency 50 somewhere where you will not open it, like, in your phone case pocket.
Yeah.
That's not a good idea because you can reach into it and you do it all the time. Just grab it.
That's not a good idea for me.
It's not a good idea for you. For, like, it'd be a better idea to, like, put it in your phone case where I have, like, my credit card and my ID, but you took my emergency money.
So,
Good to know. Thank you, Kat.
Good to show. No, that's it's really smart. Yeah, she's really responsible. You got your first phone when you were
7?
I think she was 7. Yeah, she was really young, and since then, she's never broken her phone. She's never lost the phone.
At least not that it was my fault.
Okay, maybe this one. No, this one.
Okay, that one's a one time out of 15 or out of a long time that I've had
not
it.
15 years.
Not 15 years.
Because you're 15.
Out of the time that I've had it, I've only broken it once. That was my fault. The last time it was my brother's fault.
Oh, okay. Let's blame it on the brother.
Really, he did. He grabbed my phone, or it was in my backpack, and he grabs my backpack and throws it.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm not going to get into it.
Let's not get into it, no. So it's good to have emergency money because, we always have emergencies for us adults. I always teach my clients, you always have to have at least $1,000 in your bank account because, especially when it comes to credit cards, and we'll talk about that right now. When it comes to credit cards, the reason why we spend a lot of the times is because we say, oh, I had this emergency and then I had to use my credit card, or I had a flat tire, or this happened, so I had to use my credit card and I had to max my credit card. But if you would have had that emergency fund, well, then you didn't have to use your credit card unless you were conscious to use the credit card. What have I taught you that you could remember about credit cards? So once you're 18, yes. You get your credit card.
I'm not old enough to get a credit card yet, but when I am, I've seen actually a lot of people do this where they make the mistake of, as soon as they get a credit card, they'll go max it out thinking they can spend all this money or not knowing or not caring that they have a limit, or not knowing that it's bad to get to that limit that you have. And she's always told me that I'm not getting you a credit card until I know that you won't spend to that limit. And she always tells me that only spend about 30% of what your max is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else?
And when you're getting one, it's better to get a credit card with promotions with 0 interest and stuff like that, because then it messes up.
Yeah.
Everything
And since
else.
she's so young, I still have a few more years for her to kind of understand this, but that is important to know, to start teaching our kids at this age, that when they do have a credit card, that no, we don't go out there and start spending like crazy, because good credit is very important. Very, very important. What do you think that good credit, or credit overall, what do you think it does?
It makes you look more reliable. Like when you're buying a house or something, they'll look at that to see how reliable you are, how trustworthy you are with your money. Because if you have bad credit, then you probably can't manage your money. So what makes you think you can buy a house, or what makes you think you can do this?
Exactly. And the only way you get good credit is by being responsible with your credit cards, with your payments, making payments on time. So it's important for us to teach our kids since very young age, you don't spend all the money that you have. You do have to put money aside. And then once you have your credit card, only spend 30% of the limit. Otherwise, it becomes bad credit. And a lot of people don't know that. They think, well, let's say I have a credit card for $500, or that's a little too much for someone younger. Let's say we have a credit card for $100, and they think, well, I'm going to go use those $100 and then pay them off next month. Well, it's still showing that you use the limit of the account, so you don't want to do that, because then that shows as bad credit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anything else that you want to share? Anything you can think of?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? How about, do you have any questions? Any questions?
So far you guys have just gotten a lot of hello ladies from a lot of different people. Just happy to see you on camera, Kat, and all that. So tell us, how do you save money when you go, for example, to Starbucks?
Oh.
Diego, I don't appreciate being called out. Well, I'll definitely, like, okay, I'm weird with this. If you're gonna go to Starbucks, get your money's worth. Ask for light ice. Like 95% of the cup is just ice, and that's not okay. You don't get
what I meant, Kat.
Well, I know, but
Hey, but at least these are some savings tips.
These are little savings tips.
Because you could get a small one instead of a large one and probably get the same amount.
Yeah, you really can. The small one's like literally what they fill the cup with all that ice. Yeah. And there's sometimes free refills.
How do you get the free refills?
You just ask for it.
Oh.
Most people don't ask, or they don't stick around long enough.
And I didn't know this. So one day she's like, I'm going to go get a refill. I'm like, it's Starbucks. She's like, well, you could just ask.
Occasionally they'll charge you like 50 cents, but what's 50 cents in comparison to like $5 for like just paying for another one? But bring your cup back. And I only go once a week, so I make sure, I won't go like more than once a week, especially because you don't let me, because you say that's a lot of sugar, but mostly because it's spending, because I want to save it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of Starbucks cards for my birthday, and they've lasted a long time. I still have like over 50% of it, and it was like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Vanessa's idea to save a little bit more money would be to make your own coffee.
Make your own coffee. That's you know what? We do make our own coffee, but she's a Starbucks.
Mm-hmm. It's not the coffees at Starbucks. It's the teas that we can make at home.
She loves the teas.
I do my best to make them at home, but they're not the same.
Yeah, that is true. And you know what? And it's okay. It's okay to treat yourself once in a while, as long as you're not going, like you said, every single day. That you know your limit. You know your budget.
And most people do. That's what they spend most of their money on. If you calculate it, most people have spent like over $1,000 on coffee a month. Yeah.
Another tip from your oldest, she says, or you could bring your own cup and you get a discount off whatever drink you get.
Ooh, that's super cool. That is a good idea. Either. Thank you. How about, so we did this a few weeks ago where we wanted to eat sushi and they didn't want sushi, and right across the street there was what?
There was a Lucille's, but that's a little more pricey.
No, and it's okay. And it's okay. Well, but the reason why is I want to talk about it because most kids. So we went to have sushi, and she wanted to go and have Lucille's with her brother, literally right across from the other restaurant. And one of the first things she said is, "What's our budget?" So she could even look at the menu. And a lot of the times people just show up to the restaurants and they just look at what they want, but not considering, well, what's my budget to...
I'm guilty of that sometimes, though.
Uh-oh. It's okay. You're still a kid. I mean, I think that you know a lot for the average kid. That they. I mean, back in my days, I had no idea of anything that I'm talking about. I share this a lot with a lot of people, and I've said it a million times, and I'm probably going to say it a million more because it always brings me back to how ignorant I was when I started working my first job. And there was a girl there. I remember she had a little envelope, and she got her paycheck, and she's dividing the money. And when she's dividing it, to me, I'd never seen anything like that before. So I asked her, "What are you doing?" And she says, "Well, my dad tells me not to spend all my money," kind of like what I'm doing with her now. And I remember looking at her, and I wasn't a kid. I mean, I must have been like 17, 18. So I wasn't even her age. I was older. And when I looked at her, the first thing I thought was, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And I literally thought, and I looked at her and I said, well, that's stupid. Why wouldn't you be able to spend your whole money? That's your money. You're working. It's not your dad working. It's you're working. It's your money. And I thought it was the stupidest thing. Well, now looking back, that wasn't that wasn't stupid. It was really me. I was really ignorant. I wasn't taught about any finances. I wasn't taught about how to budget, how to spend. I kind of had to learn it the hard way. And so for me, it's really important to now teach my kids how to budget, how to be wealthy. I tell them all the time now, you want to be wealthy, then do what what Catherine explained earlier. Just first, your 10% goes to God. The second 10% goes to savings, and the third percent, the other 10% goes to you. And then that's within the budget of like the fun and going out and the movies, etc.
Ooh, I have another tip for saving.
She has a tip.
It popped into my head because I do this all the time. Save all your quarters. They accumulate. I have so many quarters. I have like $80 in quarters, if not more. We used to go get our nails done a lot more, which we don't as much anymore, because it gets pricey. It gets really, really pricey, especially to this place we go to. And so we were going like, every 2 weeks? And she told me, she's like, Kat, I can't keep paying for you. This is getting really pricey for you and me. It's like, every time we go, it was getting to like $20-something every time, if not more.
It's not $20-something.
It was a while ago. You told me, like, if you want to go, gather up $25. You have to start paying it every day. So I didn't have any cash on me, so I went to my quarters, and I have now, we never went. But I have a bag at home separate with $25 in quarters that I was going to go pay for.
She was looking, CJ.
So she was gonna go in, but hey, money is money, and that's a good savings, because I don't like change. I don't like carrying change. So
I love it. That's
what I do. I have, so there's my change. But for someone young, that is a really good idea, because parents don't like change and kids like change. And if you really, like you said, if you put it together, a few quarters is just a few quarters. But then when you start saving them and putting them all together, a few quarters become dollars and become 10s and 20s.
Mm-hmm.
You were going to say something, Diego? Oh, it seemed like you were going to say something. Okay, well.
Still waiting for that Starbucks explanation.
Only once a week, so I'm not that bad anymore. I haven't gone in like 3 weeks.
Now,
2
your
weeks.
Savings tip for a Starbucks when you go with Michael.
I know what you mean.
Well, that's all we have for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, this is the Savings Blackboard. If you are a business owner, or you're just anyone that have amazing saving tips, just send us a message, and the voice of God, aka Diego, or Diego, aka the voice of God, which he's still single, and we are still looking for a young, beautiful let's see what is it that we look for when we're gonna look for
if anybody out there's hiring,
Diego's
I will
girlfriend.
Let's see
What would be your requirements, Catherine?
Everybody have a good day. I'm gonna go ahead and end the
Shouldn't
video.
we ask Diego for that? Diego, what are some of your requirements?
No. What are some of your requirements that you could approve that it would be a good girlfriend for Diego?
Oh, okay.
So if anybody's out there hiring, I will post my resume in a few minutes.
He's just kidding. He's never gonna leave.
He can't leave us. He's not allowed to.
Of course, you're not.
We'll fire him if he leaves us.
Wait.
Wait, what?
No, wait. How does that work?
Oh. All right, guys. Well, see you next week. Once again, this is Erica Garcia, and this is Catherine Medina, my beautiful daughter. Amazing that I am so proud of her. She is such a motivating, hardworking girl. I've never had an issue with her. I mean, well, maybe right now.
What?
What? She is a teenager now, but, truly, she has been one of the most amazing gifts that God has given me. She has always been just motivated, and she's a good girl. She doesn't like to get in trouble. So I always waited for those terrible 3s and those terrible 5s, and it just never happened. I'm hoping that it won't happen later on either. But anyways, thank you everyone.
Threw you under the bus.
No, what did Michael say?
No, do not even read his comment. It's going to be something bad.
We want to hear what Michael said.
So he says that the way that she saves at Starbucks is by saying, "Hey, let me take you," and then suddenly you show up and but you can pay.
Hey, you forgot about that tip, Katherine.
I did that one time, and it wasn't even like that. He said. He bet, and he played dirty. He bet. He said he played dirty. He's like, okay, I'll bet you this. I completely forgot what it was, but I remember he played dirty. He's like, I'll bet you this, and I'll pay for both. It wasn't Starbucks. It was Yogurtland.
Ooh,
he's like, and
Yogurtland.
I'll bet you Yogurtland. I'll bet you that I'll pay, and if you lose. And then he played dirty.
Oh.
So then I made him pay. And he's like, no, see, you dragged me all this way to make you pay. It's not my fault.
Hey, but for a teenager, that's a great savings tip.
It really
you
is.
have the parents pay for it.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
But slowly but surely, they'll start making you pay. Don't tell them you have money, though. They'll make you pay.
They will. Yeah, we will. I try not to.
But
I try to respect her money. I try. She just saves me all the time. Whenever I have an emergency for cash.
I really do.
All right, guys. Well, thank you again for tuning in. We will see you next time. Have an awesome day. Thank you.